another episode of What's for Dinner. And I previously did some red cabbage that I'm going to serve with tonight's dinner. And in that video I mentioned that I was going to be making schnitzel tonight. And schnitzel is nothing more than beef, chicken, or pork that's been pounded thin and then dredged in flour, egg, and breadcrumb and fried very quickly in some hot oil. It's a delicious meal. We're going to have it with some egg noodles and our cabbage, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's see what goes into this. We're going to use some pork tenderloin, and this is one package, and I have both tenderloins here. I have cut each tenderloin in half again, and each half in half. So there's 16 pieces here, and I am going to cook them all, and I am going to have leftovers out of this later in the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pound these thinly. And I'm just going to set it, I have a Ziploc bag here that I have sliced the sides open on. And then I probably don't need this, but I have my meat mallet. And we're going to pound these thin until they're even. And when you pound, and I'm going to show you how to do one, and then I'm going to go and finish the rest. You kind of pound and do this. You don't want to go at it like you're, beating an intruder to his death or bludgeoning someone.
Or husband.
I would never do that to you. Well, at least not today. Okay. But you're going to want to pound this thinly, and then I'm going to do these, and then when I come back, I'm going to show you what they look like. So I'll be back in just a little while. Okay, we finished pounding the pork tenderloin pieces, and this is how they look. They're nice and thin.
Pull one sideways.
See? They're nice and thin, and these are going to cook really quickly. So what we have is a basic breading station. Flour, egg, breadcrumb, and in the breadcrumb I have shaken some poultry seasoning, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. That's it. And, this is a very mild tasting dish, but you do want to season up your breadcrumb. When I went to the store today, it looked like had been a run on breadcrumb. There was like very little to choose from, so I had to get plain. I usually get the seasoned, but we're going to get this started, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn my oil. I've got some shallow oil in my chicken fryer over here, and we're going to get started. Plate to put the breaded ones on here, so in my teeny tiny kitchen. Okay, and yes, I'm using my fingers, so this is for my family. I'm pretty sure that everybody uses their fingers when they're cooking at home. The best tools you have. Okay, into the flour. Excuse me, I need another fork. Into the egg, and then into the breadcrumb. And this doesn't need to be thickly breaded, just breaded well. You don't want any bare spots. And you're probably going to make a bit of a mess. We're going to just remove that. And I'm going to come over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish breading all of my schnitzel pieces. I may throw a couple in the pan once it gets heated up. But I'm going to finish all this up first, and then I'm going to commence to frying. I'm going to boil some noodles, and then we're going to fix you a plate, because I know you're hungry. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, we got our first two in the pan, and I turned them already. I'm just buttering the noodles over here. We got all the meat breaded. It's ready to go. And the only other thing I have to do is get a plate ready to put the, remove these ripe bananas out of the way. And I'm just going to use several layers of paper towel. Put over here and grab my tongs, and I'm certain these are done. Yep, beautiful. And I have my hot oil on about medium heat. And these don't take any time at all to cook. I mean, really, they only take a few minutes. And don't overcrowd your pan. Put a couple pieces in there. once they get nice and brown, I forgot, I'm going to salt these. If you don't like salt, you don't like to, for health reasons, if you don't want to put too much salt on these, then by all means, do it your own way. Season it the way you like. I'm telling you, this is a very delicious meal. Very traditional German, Austrian kind of meal. But we're just going to brown, you know, we're going to cook these until they're completely done. Sometimes you're going to get a bubble. You may have to sit there like that until it browns on the other side. Just keep turning it. These, they're probably perfect. Yeah. They're very hot. They're a little browner than I'd like them to be. But that's just me. This oil is nice and hot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry all of these up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to fix you a plate of schnitzel and noodles. See? My favorite things. You know that song from The Sound of Music. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles. That's what we're going to have for dinner. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I finished frying up all of our schnitzel. And, you know, I want to show you the pan. Yes, the breadcrumbs in the bottom of the pan, they do get a little dark, but that is just about the same amount of oil that I started with. So if you're worried about frying, please don't be. I also wanted to let you know I use safflower oil, and safflower oil breaks down a lot quicker than some oils. So that is another reason I like to use it, because it's not artificially manufactured, and it also is very, very light oil.
And if your oil is hot enough, it's not going to absorb.
That's right. So you want to make sure that your oil is at the right temperature before you start frying. Otherwise, you are going to have whatever you're cooking in it absorb quite a bit. So I'm going to grab a fork, and I'm going to fix you a plate. Grab a schnitzel, some noodles. See, schnitzel with noodles. And my kids won't eat that. Well, Molly will eat the cabbage now that she's tasted it, but I know Micah won't. So I made some steamed broccoli. And what I did, you see these are the stems. I peeled them real good with the vegetable peeler so they would be tender, and I cut off the real tough ends, and I just sliced them up real thin, and I steamed them with the whole head of broccoli. So, and here is your sweet and sour cabbage that we fixed. And there you have it. Schnitzel and noodles, sweet and sour cabbage and broccoli. That's what's for dinner. I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, I'll see you.